Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Susie. How you doing, honey? I actually started my Christmas shopping because of the giveaways or the exchanges that we're going to be doing. So I think it would be nice to do an exchange with you as well, Susie, if you're interested. Um, we already have email together, but we can certainly exchange information and send out some gifts and stuff. So if you're interested in doing that with me, shoot me an email with your address, and then I will shoot you an email back with mine. Okay, so we're gonna get started today with the audio.
Hi there. Hello. Are you Nicole? Hi. Agent Greg Zentner with Colorado Bureau of Investigation. Okay. I just talked to you on the phone a few minutes ago. So we got in a little conference room on the end here and talk. I'd appreciate that. It's raining like crazy. Is it NICHOLKOLE? And what's that your driver? How do you spell that? UTOFT. But that should change tomorrow, hopefully. Okay. To Dickinson? Yeah, ATKINS. And that 970 number, that's what I called you on? Yeah. That's the best number for you? Okay. And what's your home address? 229. And what's your date of birth? Are pretty good friends with, is it Shannon or Shanann? Shanann, you pronounce it like shenanigans. Okay. Everybody calls her everything else but that, but it's Shanann. Right. It took me like 2 years to get it down. Okay, yeah, I've heard Shannon, I've heard this, that, and the other. So Shanann. Okay. Yeah. So I understand you and Shanann are pretty good friends. mean, yeah,
Correct.
we hang out a lot. We have kids the same age.
Okay.
I met her because her mom started working for me when I was running a whole bunch of salons and decided to change professions, so now I'm here. But
Okay.
that's not important.
All right. So how long have you known Shanann?
3 to 4 years, I would
Okay.
say. Because when Bella was little, and then she was pregnant with Cece, and Cece just turned 3, so.
Okay. So Bella is the older one, right?
Bella's 4.
Bella's 4. And then
Cece-
Celeste.
It's Celeste, and
Okay.
she goes by Cece, yeah. Or they call her Cece.
Okay. She's 3.
Yeah, she just turned 3 in July.
Okay. And okay. And so you guys have kids that are close in age?
Yeah, my youngest is Madison. She's 2 and will be 3 in October. So we go to their house, or they always ask, "Where's Madison coming over?" If I go by myself, and they're there. So.
Okay. So since you've known Shanann for about 3 to 4 years, when did you meet Chris?
The same time I met Shanann, I actually got invited by her mom, Sandy, over for Cece's first birthday party.
Okay.
I mean, I talked to her in passing, but to actually say I got to know her and stuff like that, I met her before, but not where we developed a friendship. So, Cece's first birthday party around the night, went over and I met the whole family and spent some time with them. So ever since then, because we have the same kids in age, that and she got me to Thrive with her. So.
Okay. What is Thrive? I've heard about that. I don't
So
know what that is.
it's these patches that we wear, and it's a nutritional supplement.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just patches, but that's the gist of it.
Okay.
Unless you want more information.
I've heard of it. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's a nutritional supplement.
Okay.
It just time releases vitamins and minerals into your body all day long, so it gives you mental clarity and energy.
All right.
You actually stop craving stuff that you normally would want, like ice cream. I don't crave ice cream anymore.
Really?
I don't drink soda. I don't drink coffee.
Oh. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you and Shanann? See, now you got me wanting to say Shanann again.
Right.
So were you guys together in the Thrive part of this? Is that like a?
It's a home-based business.
Okay.
It's kind of like Mary Kay, or it's a direct sales thing.
Gotcha.
So she actually, when I went to Cece's birthday party 2 years ago, got me a sample, and then I went over to her house. We had play dates and whatnot for a year. We'd go to lunch or whatever here or there, like girlfriends do. And then a year ago, I finally decided to try it. After the sample she got me sent to her, I texted her and was like, "I'm gonna try it," and she's like, "Okay." And then by day 2, I went over and signed up to be a promoter because I actually felt what it was doing for me. So I was like, and she's like, "You just be a customer." And I'm like, "No, I'm gonna talk about it. I want to make money off of it." So.
Okay. So you guys were wrapped up in the Thrive thing together.
Yes.
And
we left together. We flew out together and we flew back together.
Okay. So you guys, was there like a Thrive convention this last week?
There was a training in Arizona that some of the top leaders of the company were putting on.
Okay. Where was it in Arizona?
Scottsdale. At the embassy.
Okay. And so you guys went there. When did you guys go?
I left here at 4:00 on Friday morning. So it was Thursday night. Friday morning, and I drove from here to her house. I picked her up, and then we drove to the airport.
Okay. Do you remember what time you picked her up?
I was around 4:30
in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys had a really early flight, I assume.
Yeah, we flew out at 7. I can pull it up. It was Southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah, I'm sure the morning passes.
And you flew from here to Scottsdale?
Phoenix.
Good.
It's about 20.
Sky Harbor.
Yeah.
Okay, so you picked her up on that was Thursday. You said? So what day? Thursday the 9th, is that right?
Well, it was Friday morning, so it would have been the 10th.
Oh, I got you. Okay, August 10th. And your flight was at what time? 7:10, you said something?
We flew out at 7.
7?
We got to the airport right around 10 o'clock.
Sure. Okay. So you picked her up from her house. Is that the one on
2825?
Yeah, what's her address? 2025.
2825. It just escaped me. Give me a second. Saratoga.
Oh, there you go.
I was like,
Saratoga Trails, all right?
yeah.
Okay. And did you go inside?
Nope.
Did you
Because
just
the
wait
kids
out
were
front?
sleeping. She
Okay.
said, just text me when you get here. She was actually waiting on the front porch.
Oh, she was? Okay. So you didn't see any of the kids? You didn't see Chris?
No.
She was just on the front porch
Yeah.
with a bag, suitcase?
She had a carry-on suitcase in her purse.
Okay. You remember what color her carry-on was?
It's black. It's in the house sitting right by the stairs.
Is that okay? I've been in there. So carry-on.
It was
wheels?
sitting there. Yeah.
Okay. Like your regular carry-on.
Yeah, I think it's like a, I don't know, black and has some patent leather on it.
Okay.
It was sitting in the, I walked up in the house the last 2 days. It was sitting right by the stairs when we went in yesterday.
Okay, so you pick her up 4:30 at her house. She's got the carry-on and her purse.
Mhm.
What kind of purse does she have?
It was a Dolce & Gabbana, like beige colored. It's in her house too. I found it in her office when we went through the house.
So it's in the office?
Yeah, it was in her office, like right inside the door. I don't know how I walked past it as many times as I did because when we went in, I was concerned about Shanann. Because I can let you ask your questions. I can tell the story as you ask it, or I can just tell you. I don't know.
Well, kind of muddle through this.
Okay.
So you go ahead. I'll interrupt if I have questions.
So I was concerned because normally when we come back from these, she harasses me, and I don't want to say harass me, but she harasses me the next day, like, come on, let's call people, let's get things going, let's work business. And she didn't call it, or she didn't text that morning. Like, usually I have a text message between 6:30 and 7:30 from her if she wants to do business or wants to get together or whatever. And I had signed up a new promoter over the weekend, so we had plans to go to lunch with her at 1:30. And I woke up at like 7:45 that morning, and I didn't hear anything from her. I thought it was odd, but I know we were both tired, so I rolled over and went back to sleep. And then I woke up, and I still hadn't heard anything from her, so I texted her. I think I can show you the text.
Yeah.
I guess I just skimmed through. She's usually on the top. I texted her yesterday morning at 8:43 a.m. asking her, how are you?
8:43.
And then I texted again at 8:55 and said, just wanted to see if you were okay. I know you were hurting a lot last night. I hope you're okay. She's 15 weeks pregnant, and she was having a lot of migraines over the weekend. And she was tired. She wasn't eating because of what was going. Like, we were pushing food on her and water because she was dehydrated and not eating like she normally does. And I presumed it had to do with what was going on with Chris. So,
Sorry, hang on.
okay.
Let me catch up with you real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So, migraines. I make a few notes so we can come back. Sorry, I've got only part of the story, so I may not be able
Yeah, no, you're fine. I can
totally
go back
follow
to your
you.
questions
Okay.
again when I jump back.
Okay, let me go back to the beige purse.
Okay.
So that was the beige purse that she took with her on the trip, and it was in the office.
Yes.
Where you found it.
Yes.
Is that an unusual place for that to be?
I mean, no. I don't pay attention to where Shanann puts her purse or whatever, so no, I don't think so, but usually she has it on the counter when I'm there because we're getting ready to leave, so I don't know.
So did you move it at all, or did you leave where it was?
I told them I found it, and then they asked me to get it. The police officer did, and Chris. So I went and grabbed it, and I gave it to Chris. I didn't go through it. I gave it to him, and let him go through it.
All right. Okay, let's go. So I'll let you tell me your story,
Okay.
and then we'll go back through and I'll ask you questions.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So let's start with you go to the conference and
we came home.
came home.
I came home.
What time did you come home? Let's start with
So our flight was delayed. We were supposed to fly out at 8:45, I believe. I have to look at the boarding pass and get here at 11:25. And our flight got delayed, and we didn't actually take off. I want to say it was 10:20 when we boarded the plane, and we didn't get here until 12:45 in the morning.
12:45. Okay.
And then I dropped her off I thought it was around 1:45 because I got home a little after 2. But the neighbor's security system has me drop her off at 1:48. And then I went home and I didn't talk to her again that night.
Okay, and what time did you get home?
I got home a little after 2. Like it was like 2:01 or 2:03.
Okay.
It wasn't like we lived really close together.
How far do you live away?
From her house to my house, I would say like 5 or 6 miles.
Okay.
It's on the other side of I-25, so
Okay.
a little tiresome.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, so go ahead, I'm sorry.
So then that morning I woke up and I texted her, and like I said, I asked her if she was okay, and then at 8:55 I texted her and said, just wanted to see if you're okay. I know you were hurting a lot last night. I hope you're okay, because she was in a lot of pain on the plane. Last year in August she had a neck surgery and had to have a degenerative disc fixed. So her neck was really bothering her because we sat in the airport extra long. She was sitting for extra long, and she was in a lot of pain. I don't know if it was that, and then she had a headache on top of it. So that's why I texted her that morning, because like I said, it's not normal for her not to text me in the morning usually.
Does she have medication that she generally takes for the?
Yeah, she had. I don't know what it is, but she did have migraine medicine with her, and then she also had anti-nausea medicine with her that she was taking over the weekend.
Okay.
And they
migraines make her sick.
Yeah.
Like nauseated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then she's pregnant too, so I don't know if she's taking anti-nausea for the migraine or
There
for
is
the
that,
pregnancy.
yeah, right.
So, yeah. So then I didn't hear anything, and I knew she had a doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. That was the other thing. On the way home, she was saying that in the car, she said, it's going to really suck to get up in 3 hours. And I was like, that's only 5:30. Why are you getting up in 3 hours? And she's like, because Cece will be up, the baby. She's like, she's still in North Carolina time, because they had just the week prior come back from being in North Carolina for 6 weeks.
Okay. Who all was in North Carolina?
Cece, Bella, and Shanann all went out. I could look on the calendar and tell you the dates. At the end of June. And then Chris went out the last week and then flew back with them. They were there. Let's see. We came back from San Diego on the 25th. So she flew out on the 26th in June, and then they came back. And then Chris flew out there on the 31st of July. And then they all flew back on the 7th of August.
Okay.
So
the doctor's appointment was at prenatal?
Yeah, it was a prenatal appointment.
Okay.
And so I texted her and said how her appointment went, and asked her how her appointment went. I texted her and again at 9:21 and said, let me know how your appointment goes. And then at 11:46, because I thought she might be busy out running errands or whatever. I mean, it wasn't like her, but.
Is it unusual for her not to return texts?
Yes, very unusual. Because of her business, that's how she communicates with everybody. She's constantly on Facebook, and that was the other thing. She didn't post on social media that morning. And if you go back and look at her Facebook, she has posts anywhere from 5:30 to 7 in the morning, every single morning. Every morning. It's very unlikely.
And she did on the 12th.
Correct.
And that's unusual.
Yes. So when I looked on Facebook, because I hadn't been on Facebook either, I was actually I drove to Longmont around 10 to go look at a house for the other gal that was with us in Arizona. Her name's Cassie. They're supposed to be moving out here. So I went to go look at a house for them, and after I did that, I was like, I haven't heard from Shanann, have you? And she was like, no, I haven't either. She's not returning my phone call or text. Like, we both were called and text her. So at 11:46, I said, I'm very worried about you. I'm coming to your house. And the reason I decided to go to her house was because I had watched the dog Dieter, the week before, and I didn't bother Chris because I knew he figured he was at work, but I figured well, maybe after he left for work, she passed out or something. She's pregnant, she wasn't feeling well, something. So I was like, I'll just go to the house and see if she's there. And if if her car's there, but she doesn't answer, then I'll use their code to go in. So, I had my son with me, my 16-year-old and my 2-year-old, and I go to their house, and I knocked on the door, and I rang the doorbell, and her shoes that she had on the night before were right inside the door. And those shoes she wears everywhere. It doesn't matter if there's, like, unless it's and she buys the same damn flip-flops every year because she likes them that much. Like,
Okay, you know what kind of brand name they are?
I don't have a picture of them.
Can you send me some of this stuff?
Yeah.
If you have a picture of the flip flops, that'd be great. And can you do screenshots?
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me
My text?
those texts? And also, that'd be perfect. If you can send them to that phone number I called you on, that'd be great. What color are these flip flops?
They're black.
Are they like regular between the toe flip flops?
Yeah.
Okay. And those were inside the door, and you can see them.
Yeah, I could see them because the way their door is, it's a door, and then there's 2 glass panels on each side.
Okay.
So I knocked, I rang the doorbell.
And she always wears those.
All the time.
Nothing else.
I mean, she wears other shoes, like if she goes out on a date or something, she'll wear other shoes, but she's always in those flip flops.
Okay.
Like we went to Arizona, and that's the only shoe she brought with her.
Okay.
And then so she didn't answer. I knocked. She rang the doorbell. She didn't answer. And then I tried the code. I didn't even think to look for the car yet, but I tried the code. And then when I went to open the door, they have one of those locks like you have in a hotel room up top.
Oh yeah.
So that was
thing that flip over.
that was flipped. So I couldn't get in, but I mean you could stick your arm in, but you couldn't get in.
Right. So you have the code for the door.
I do have the code for the door, but I couldn't get in.
Okay.
So then I was like, why would they flip this lock? The only time I know of them flipping that lock is when Cece, their 3-year-old, tries to escape. Or, I mean, I don't know if they flip it at night because I'm never there when they go to bed, but the only time I've seen them use it is when they're on the inside of the house to keep Cece from going outside because she's at that age where she can open the door and she escapes. So the lock was flipped, and I was like, I yelled through the door, nobody answered me, and then I told Nicholas, my son, I was like, because the garage panels where you can see in, it was too high for me. I'm like, come look and see her car's in the garage. And he couldn't, so then I backed my car up and pulled it up closer to the garage, and he stood on my hood to look and see, and her car was in the garage. And I'm like, why would, like, in the back door they have a sliding glass door too that you can see from the front door, and they have one of those things that comes down. That was locked too. Yeah. That was locked too. And the dog was put up, and I don't know if they cage him all the time, but as far as I know, they only do it when they leave the house. So I don't know. And then I don't remember at what point I mean, I could look at my phone, but I did call Chris and said, I was like, Chris, I'm worried about Shanann. She's not at home, or I said her car's here, but she's not at home. And do you know where she's at? Like, it's not, I haven't heard from her this morning. He then told me that she did not take the girls to daycare and they were going on a play date. And then I turned around and I was like, well, if they went on a play date, why doesn't she have her car? And then he proceeded to tell me, he's like, I don't know what Shanann's told you or hasn't told you, or if you know any of this, but he's like, and I'm not trying to bring you into her personal stuff, but me and Shanann are separating and we're going to sell the house. And at which point I said, Chris, your personal stuff is none of my business. That's not my concern right now. Either your wife and you will work things out or you won't. But where is your wife? Because she doesn't, like, she goes everywhere in that car. She paid for by the company. Like, it was just odd to me that the car was there.
Does she have any other mode of transportation?
No, that's her only vehicle.
Okay.
The only other vehicle they have is his work truck, and he's not allowed to drive anybody in it but him.
Okay.
Like, he will drive home from work, drop off the truck, and pick up the other car to go get the kids from school if he has to.
Okay. What time did you call Chris?
I called him at 12:27. And I called him twice. He didn't answer, and then I called again. we had that conversation.
That's when he said that
she was on a play date, and I was like, okay, but like if they're on a play date, how'd she get them there? Because they're both in car seats.
Right.
He's like, well, a friend must have picked them up or something. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm busy and I'm at work. He's like, and because I was messing with the door, I set off the alarm system. So they called him at work, and he's like, are you messing with the door? I said, yeah, I tried to get in your house because I'm worried about your wife. And he was like, he's like, she's on a plate, and I get on the site. I'm at work. He's like, I'll try and contact her. And he hung up. So then I went and locked the front door, and my son was messing with the garage door, and I told him to stop it, and he set the alarm off again. And then Chris called again and said, are you still at my house? And I told him no, because we were leaving, but we left because I'm like, okay, well, let's go see if she went to her doctor's appointment. Because I'm trying to like maybe, I don't know, maybe she did go on a play date. Who knows? So I drove to the doctor's office because I doctor there too, and I know they're not supposed to give out personal, and they didn't give out personal information. Like I'm CNA, I know the whole HIPAA laws and all of that. I just walked up to him and I said, I know you're not supposed to tell me this. I get it. I don't need other information. I just need to know if Shanann Watts showed up for her doctor's appointment. And the lady looked at me and I was like, please, I just need to know if I need to be concerned. And if she didn't show up for that appointment, I know I need to be concerned. And she told me she didn't show up for the appointment.
What time were you at the doctor's office? Do you remember?
Well, if I called Chris at 12:27, it's probably like 15 minutes from their house. I can give you the address of the doctor's office.
Yeah, if you know it.
It's 6, yeah, because I go there all the time. It's 651 Mitchell Way. And it's in Marine, Colorado.
You think you're there 1 o'clock-ish, maybe?
Let's see. Cassie called me when I was leaving there and I was heading back at 12:40. So yeah, I would say around 12:30, 12:40. Because I got 2 phone calls from our friends because they both wanted to know what's going on.
So you think it's about 15 minutes between their house and the doctor's office?
Mm-hmm.
So we call it 12:45? That be accurate, you think?
Possibly, yeah.
I'll call it. How about 12:40 to 12:45?
Okay.
Does that sound
Okay.
accurate to you?
Yeah, well, I left the house. When I called Chris was when I left the house shortly thereafter, and that was at 12:27. So.
Okay. All right. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I know. So then after I left the doctor's office, I was like, okay, something's seriously wrong. So, because I've been in contact with Cassie and Christina all morning, because these are people that would normally talk to her every day.
That's okay. I'm with you.
It was just, I don't get it. I texted her, this is when I left the doctor's office at 12:47. I texted her, I said, I've been to your house, you won't open the door, your alarm's set, your shoes are sitting inside, your car's home, I'm very concerned about you right now, I need you to text me or call me, I just want to know you're okay. If you don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to be around anybody, I get it, it's fine, I just need to know you're okay. And she didn't respond. So I was driving back to her house at that point.
Okay.
And then Cassie had called Chris and told Chris that he needed to go to his house.
And who's Cassie?
She's one of the other Thrive Promoters, but we're all friends. She was in Arizona with us.
Okay.
She lives in Arizona.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah.
And who is Christina?
Christina's also another friend, but she lived with Chris. She lived with Chris and Shanann for 6 weeks when she had her neck surgery. She lives in Hawaii, and she flew out here with her daughter and lived with Shanann for the 6 weeks when she had her neck surgery.
Okay, but neither of them are actually here.
No.
Okay.
That's why they were on the phone with me, because I called one of them and was like, have either one of you heard from Shanann? Because I haven't heard from her either. So I started reaching out to people like, okay, if somebody's heard from her, at least then I don't have to worry.
Right. Okay, so you text her at 12:47.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to her house.
Right.
What happens now?
So then I'm talking to, within all of this time frame, I talked to Kurt. I think I called Chris again. I I talked to Cassie, and she said that she had talked to Chris, and he was supposed to be at his house and be there in 30 minutes. And I was like, well, I'm on my way back. So I called Chris at 12:41.
12:49, you said?
12:41.
12:41.
I called him at 12:41.
Okay. Did you talk to him at that point?
I can't remember if I talked to him or he didn't answer.
Okay.
I don't remember because I called him again at 1:31 because by this time I'd already been back to the house.
Okay.
And Cassie had said that he was coming back and he'd be there in 30 minutes. So that was in the time frame that I was driving back to the house.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I talked to him, to be honest with you, at the 12:41.
Okay.
But I did talk to him at 1:31 because he wasn't home yet and he should have been there if it was only going to take him 30 minutes.
Right.
So, and by that time, I called the Frederick Police Department at 1:31 because I called Chris at 1:31. I called Chris and said, Chris, where are you? You said you were going to be here in 30 minutes. He's like, I'm on my way. I'm on now 70. I'm 45 minutes out. I said, well, I'm calling the police. Do a health warrants check. And I honestly couldn't tell you at that point what he said or didn't say.
Okay.
The phone call was, I don't know. I'll tell you because. An incoming call at 12:41 and it lasted for 42 seconds. I think that was him calling me to ask me if I was still at the house messing with the door.
At 12:41.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at 1:31, I called him and that's when I told him that, like, you're not here. And then he still wasn't at the house. By 1:52, I called again and was like, where are you? But I had already called the police and they were on
What time
their
did you call the police?
1:33.
Did you call 911 or regular line?
I called the non-emergency line because I didn't know whether they would consider that emergency or not, so I looked up the non-emergency line and called it.
Okay.
And then
So then 1:52, you said you got another phone call? Or you
I called
Chris
him again and I was like, where are you? Because the police were there and they wanted to know how far out he was because we couldn't get in the house. The police couldn't even get in the house.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't want to break down the door if she's not in there. So the police officer did. So he was checking windows and stuff and trying to figure out what he could get in. And then he said, he was like 10 or 15 minutes out or whatnot. I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was a very short conversation, and I can tell you how long it lasted. It was on the phone for 17 seconds, so that tells you.
Sure. That's short.
Yeah. So then Chris gets there, and the police officer was like, do you know where your wife is? And he was like, no. He's like, well, can you open your door so we can go inside? And he wasn't there yet. And then I called her mom, because her mom had lived there too. So I called Cassie, because Cassie stayed with her, and then her mom stayed with her. So I was trying to get anybody to give us a code for the garage, because that was the only way to get in. So I let Chris go, and then I called her mom, and her mom didn't know what was going on. And I was like, Sandy, do you have a code to Shannon and Chris's garage door? And she was like, she started giving me numbers, but none of them worked. And then I, of course, had to tell her what was going on, and I didn't call her before that, because I didn't want to upset her if there was nothing to upset her about. And then Chris showed up and let us in.
Okay. How did he let you in?
He opened the garage door.
Okay. So
And it didn't
there's a front door and then a back sliding glass door.
Yeah.
And then is there a door through the garage as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're okay. It didn't dawn on me at the time because he went to open the front door so we could come inside. But when we walked into the garage, or when the garage door opened, he immediately opened the car door and then bolted for the house. I've been trying to play this through my head so many times in the last 2 days.
Okay, let me see if I've got this straight. So he opens the garage door and it's you and Chris,
The police
and
officer,
the police officer.
my 16-year-old, my 2-year-old, I think, was playing in the front seat of the car still at that point. And the neighbor might have been there by that point. The neighbor came over at some point.
Okay, so the garage door goes up.
Uh-huh.
Is Chris in first?
Yeah.
Who's behind him?
I think it was the police officer and
Okay.
me and my son.
Okay, so as Chris walks by, what car is in the garage?
It's a white Lexus.
Okay, is it one of the SUV type
Yeah,
vehicles? I don't
like a Ford Explorer type version.
Yeah, okay. And so he walks along the passenger side. I'm sorry, on the driver's side.
No, passenger side.
Passenger side.
And he opens the door. And it didn't.
Front or
Front passenger door.
front passenger door.
And I don't know why that's sticking out of my head, but it like distracted all of us because I started looking at the car and then I looked to see if the girls' car seats were in there and whatever. And then he went and opened the front door and it like I didn't even dawn to go on the front door. We all went through the garage. But he went around and opened the front door, did whatever he did. And I'm not trying to incriminate the man, I don't know what my brain
That's
is.
unusual.
And it doesn't explain things.
Okay. So let's see. So into garage. Opens front passenger door.
Mm-hmm.
You think that was an effort to delay?
I don't know. And it could just be me, like my mind. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to like replay the events of what happened. It just was odd to me. Like if we're looking for them in the house, why did you open the car door?
Yeah.
It was odd.
That is unusual. Okay, so I assume that delay wasn't very long.
No, it was probably like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't even know. It wasn't that long. But we went in the house. But I know I was like, because I looked in the car seats when there. I'm like, if she's with friends, why are the car seats here? Like, how many friends do you know carry around extra car seats?
Yeah, none.
So, yeah. So that's where, like, the more I thought about it since yesterday, I'm like, why did he open my car door? Like, that's something you do after the fact, I think. Like, I'd go inside and see if somebody was in there or if they were okay. So.
Okay. So then you inside.
We're inside.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And everybody kind of split. The police officer and him, like, everybody kind of split because we were looking for Cece and Bella and Shanann. Like, everybody just kind of split up because at this point, I don't know what you guys are considering this or not considering this, but at this point, we all split up and we're just looking to see if we can find them. Downstairs, upstairs, everywhere. Every room, everywhere. We're just looking. And they're nowhere in the house. They're nowhere. Like,
Okay.
nowhere.
Can you describe the house, inside of the house for me? I mean, is it in shambles? Is it
No.
messy? Is it
No,
neat?
it's clean. It's neat.
Is it always that way?
For the most part, I mean, the girls might have a couple toys out here or there, but no, it was really clean. Like, and Shanann's, like, I'm sure you're going to go in her house at some point. She's very OCD. Everything's labeled. It has its spots.
Okay.
It doesn't move from that spot. If it does, it gets put back in that spot. Like, yeah.
Okay. Do you notice anything unusual? Does it smell weird?
No, it just.
Is anything out of place
I
that
mean,
you
I could say
noticed?
it felt weird, but
It felt weird.
it felt weird.
Let's talk about feeling weird.
I don't know. By that point, it felt like it had an eerie feeling to it. My mind wasn't in a good place.
Okay.
Because it didn't. She never leaves that car. Like, that car goes everywhere with her. I mean, unless she's out of town and Chris needs the car because he has the girls, they always have that. She's always in that car. So, it was just weird to me that the car was there. Her shoes were by the front door.
Okay.
So
would it be fair to say that for her to leave the house without her shoes and that car,
it's out of character.
it's very unusual for her?
Yes. And it got worse as we went on. So we all split up and we're looking for things. And then I'm not sure how we all ended upstairs, but we all ended upstairs at one point, and Shanann makes her daughter's beds every day. Like, I've been upstairs with them, playroom upstairs, I've seen their rooms. Those beds were not made.
That's what I mean.
The little girls' beds were not made. Shanann's and Chris's bed was stripped.
Okay.
All of the bedding was, and I don't know if all of the bedding, but the bedding was all over in the corners of the room. And I didn't touch it, I didn't go through it, I don't know, like, if sheets were missing or anything like that, but all of the bedding was stripped off the bed, which I thought was weird. And then the police officer had asked if she had her phone on her, and we didn't know at that point. And then like 5 minutes later, my son was like rummaging through the pillows on the sofa, and he found her phone shoved down in the cushions on the sofa.
Okay. Let me back up to the bed real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, so the girls' beds were not made, and that's unusual.
Yes.
Okay. bedding for their bed, which I would say was a master bedroom.
You can see it from the stairs.
Okay. And it was all stripped off and then like piled in the corner or
Yeah, there was a pile over in like if you were facing the room this way and the bed's right here, there was piles in the corner, both of these corners.
Okay. So it's in two corners. Okay, so was it just a bare mattress that you saw?
Yeah, there was a mattress cover on it, but like I don't know if it was a mattress pad or just a mattress cover, but there weren't any sheets or blankets or pillows on it.
Okay.
They were all on the floor, which I thought was odd because Shanann usually doesn't start a project unless she's going to finish a project because of her OCD-ness. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Chris does all the laundry too. So if Chris left for work, why was the bed stripped? And he says he takes care of all the laundry, does all the laundry. So that was the other thing. And I know they're silly little things, but like, why would he strip the bed before he went to work if Shanann was still there sleeping in it?
Yeah. He said the pillows were on the ground too.
Yes.
Did you have to notice the covers were on the pillows?
I did.
What color sheets were on the bed or were laying in the pile?
They were white.
Any blankets or anything like that you noticed?
Yeah, there was blankets. I couldn't tell if that, like I said, they have like a down comforter or a duvet.
Okay.
That was on the floor. I don't know if it had an actual cover on it or not, or if it was there. Like I said, I didn't touch. I tried to touch as least as possible.
Okay.
Because, well, at that point, that thought was going to be
Okay, so after you leave the anything else in the master bedroom that you
Well,
noticed?
we were in the master bedroom. I just saw that from I peeked in the door and saw it. I didn't
Okay.
actually go in yet. So then I turned around and the police officer had asked if she had her phone. And then Chris comes out of the master bedroom and says she left her wedding ring on the nightstand. I didn't see it on the nightstand, but he brought it out and had it in his hand.
Did she have it with her in Arizona?
It was on her hand. I don't think the only time I've ever seen her take it off was when she had her neck surgery. Because she can't have jiggle around when you have surgery.
All right. Tell me more about the phone.
So my son, like I said, he was rummaging through the pillows because we were trying to see if her phone was there. Because if it was, it's usually for people don't like their phones or whatever, by the bed or whatever. I don't know why he chose to look in the sofa, but he did. He's a 16-year-old. I don't know. So
where is this sofa?
it's right outside. They have so you have Chris's and Shanann's room right here. Then there's a playroom over here and a bathroom, and then there's a laundry room right outside their bedroom. And then there's like a family room, and then across the hall is the girls' rooms. Like not a hall, but like the corridor or whatever you want to call it, the family room. The girls' rooms are right across there.
And is this a 2-story? Oh, okay.
It's both three. It's got a basement too.
Okay.
So my son found the phone, and it was stuffed down in the cushion.
I'm sorry, where is the couch again?
Like,
so it's in the family room?
Yeah, it's right outside their bedroom. Like maybe 5-10 feet from the bedroom.
Okay.
I don't know why 10 feet, I guess, because it's like you have to walk around the corner over to it.
Okay, he just starts taking off the cushions?
Yeah, he was just, because it's one of those couches that has the base cushions, and then it's got a whole bunch of like throw pillows on it. So he picked up her phone, and it wasn't on.
Okay.
And then at that point, because I called her mom and I called Cassie, we were all on the phone together and they were on speaker. So they heard everything that was going on and everything that was being said. And the
as you're walking through the house?
Yeah, because her mom was saying, like, look here, like, see if this is here. And I'm like, Sandy, calm down, let's first see if she's in the house. So we found her phone and Chris turned it on. The police officer asked him to turn it on. So they turned it on, and then it needed a code. I didn't know the code, but Cassie knew the code. It was the baby's due date.
Okay.
So we put that in, and then the last text and call that she had made was to Chris. Because they, I don't know, they popped on it. He started doing stuff to it. Chris did. Shanann's phone's an iPhone. I can't run iPhones. Like, I just, yeah.
Did you happen to see what time that last text was?
I don't. I didn't. I mean, and I don't know if it was a text. It was just like on the call log or whatever. I'm pretty sure it said, I don't know even know if it said Chris. I just not started to see it because it said Cassie. Whoever texted her last, I don't know. So then I walked away from the phone. I went downstairs because Sandy was like, Nikki, go look and see if the girls' meds are there. Because Cece, the 3-year-old, well, Bella too, but not as bad as Cece. They both have asthma, but Cece's highly allergic, like EpiPen, anaphylactic shock allergic to tree nuts. So Shanann always carries those stuff on her, like their inhalers, their EpiPens, and stuff like that. So her mom said, go see if you can find the girls' medicine. So I went downstairs and I looked in the cupboard where I knew the medicine was. And I didn't see it, and I didn't even notice it till like a couple times passing or whatever. The thing that she carries them in, it was on the counter, but it was under the cupboard and it was like back in the corner. And I just like, I don't know, franticness, wasn't paying attention, but it was there. So she did not have the girls' meds with her. And then because we found the phone, she was like, "Is her purse there?" And I'm like, "I don't see it anywhere." So then I started rummaging through the house trying to find a purse, and I didn't find it. And I'm like, no, her purse isn't here. I was like, so maybe she did go somewhere with the girls, like thinking that she did. And then it was odd to me because there's a pair of CC shoes right outside their shoe closet. And then there was a pair of shoes right by the back door. I think they were Bella's. And then for whatever reason, there was 2 pairs of shoes with the girls' shoes out on the back porch on a chair. And I mean, Shanann, the girls have a blanket out and she's dirty and picks up after them. I mean, they very rarely have stuff scattered everywhere. So I found that to be odd, but I'm like, oh, maybe Cece wouldn't pick what shoe she was on and she was in a hurry because she needed to go. I don't know. So those were out, and then we went over to the neighbor's house because he said the cop had asked questions I couldn't tell you. Like at that point, I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to look for things that her mom was asking me to look for. She asked me to check the knives. I'm like, no, all the knives are here on the counter, like the butcher block or whatever. She asked me to go down in the basement and look just to make sure. I went downstairs. Stuff like, I mean, she was like telling me, because she lived there, she's like, did you check her shoe closet? She has this amazing shoe closet in her office that her dad built her, sorry. But I was like, Sandy, like, they're not here. I don't know what to say. They're not here. Then at some point, the neighbor said he has security cameras that face the driveway. And he said it only picks up motion. So he has a time clock of when I dropped her off and when I left, but it doesn't show Shanann getting out of my car, and she got out of my car and got her luggage and then went up to the house. And I backed up, but I sat there for a second to make sure she made it in the house and shut the door and everything was fine. I can confirm she was in that house. And
She
then,
went in through the front door.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I don't know if she flipped the lock after, I don't know. But she did go through the front door. And then he had security camera of that, and then he had security camera of Chris backing up his work truck to their garage at 5:18 in the morning and loading something up in it. And that's when my mind went bad, like really bad, because what would he be loading up at 5:18 in the morning? And Shanann yells at him, and he doesn't go out the garage because the garage is right below the girl's bedroom, and it would wake them up. He always went to and from the front door, as far as I know.
I assume the police took that video.
I think they got it today. I went back over because I talked to Fox 31, just doing a plea, like, if you're out there, please come home, please contact somebody. And they were there at that time. The neighbors said they asked him for the surveillance, if they could call this or whatever, not insurance. Security system, they can get the video sent over to them. And they were there with a canine unit too, so. I mean, and this whole time I'm trying to be as cordial to Chris as possible, but I don't know.
I think you said several times that your mind went to a bad place or something to that effect.
Because her
What?
purse, well, then we found her purse. So then after we saw the videos, we go back in the house, and I found her purse right inside the door of her office. And I went in her office several times. It was like tucked right there by the door. I just walked
Was it
down.
behind the door?
No, it was like right next to the door. Like, door was open, and then on the opposite side, it was sitting right inside the door.
Okay. So did it appear like somebody was trying to hide it, or just?
No, I think she just like
out of the
somebody
way.
set it right inside the door as they were walking by or whatever. So, like, I don't know. He's never made me think that he would do anything bad or done anything to make me assume that. But Shanann wouldn't leave her phone. She wouldn't leave her car. She wouldn't leave without the kids' meds. Like, and I'm just like, Chris, you were the last one to saw her. Where is she?
That was one thing I was going to ask you about. So this EpiPen that she carries for Cece, does she go anywhere without that?
That I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure the school has them, but she had, like, I don't know how, I just know she carries it on her if she's going to go somewhere where there might be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have one in the car, like, I don't know to that extent, but I know, like, when she travels, she has a little case that has all of their inhalers and an EpiPen and all of that in it. So, and she just got back from North Carolina, so in her office, on her desk, there's bags of all different kinds of medications that the girls take, like, you know, Tylenol, ibuprofen, Motrin, allergy medicine, whatever, I don't know what they're prescribed to, so whatever it was all still in baggies. So my thought is, if you were gonna leave your husband, why not pick up the baggies that are already packed and take them with you? But all of their luggage was there too, and that was the other thing. She bought the girls special luggage to go to North Carolina. Like, if you were gonna leave, why would you pack the girls and take it?
So did Shanann ever say anything to you about their relationship?
So the week they were in North Carolina, and I can show you text that she sent me. She said, I think it was the second or third week she was there, and there's posts all over Facebook about it too. She got in a fight with Chris's mom because she went to Chris's mom's house to visit, and I think her name's Cindy. The other grandkids were there when they were older. Cindy bought ice cream that has everything Cece's allergic to in it. So Shanann asked, and this is just hearsay, I don't know. Shanann asked Cindy, please do not give this to the other grandkids until I get Cece to bed, because she's not going to understand, and she cannot have it. And she took it and put it back in the fridge, and then I guess Cece went and bought it, and then Shanann like put her to bed, because I mean she's so sick. Like, you eat not peanuts, but cashews and kiss her, she'd be going in shock. That's how severe it is. So, they argued or whatever. Shanann went back to her parents' house the next day, and as far as I know, she did not go back and see his parents. But they celebrated Cece's birthday while they were down there, because she turned 3 in July, and the parents did not come to Cece's birthday party. So I know there was like a falling out between Shanann and Chris's parents, and then she called Chris and told Chris what was going on. So apparently there was some issues with her and Chris. And the whole thing, I don't know. And then I was told that Chris went and saw his mom and dad while he was there and spent the whole day there. And Shanann's mom, Sandy, and Shanann both said that Chris was not himself when he came back. And then, like, I knew something was up because of Facebook. I didn't ask. I figured she'd tell me when she got back or whatever. I knew we texted a couple of times, but she was on vacation spending time with her family. She didn't post pictures of her and Chris that week. Like, I don't know, they hadn't seen each other for 5 weeks, so it was a little odd that they weren't in pictures together or being lovey-dovey or whatever. So I didn't say anything. I just found it to be odd. There wasn't any pictures of Shanann either, and Shanann takes selfies all the time. Like, it's an every morning ritual of the selfie, and you point to your DFT because you're trying to promote it type thing. There wasn't pictures of her very much that week either. So, and she texted me, and I don't know if she texted me. I'd have to look back on it. She either texted me or I'm pretty sure she texted me. She called me, I think, like once, but she really couldn't talk. She was on Chris the whole time. And I can pull it back up if you want me to. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago, but I save all my texts. I put them hardly with employees. Texts are important. She basically just said that things weren't, she didn't know what was going on. He was acting weird. She hadn't seen him in 5 weeks. He wasn't touching her. They weren't cuddling. He wasn't holding her hand. Like, he wasn't sleeping in the same bed with her, which I find that really odd. You know?
So is that all of that?
That was
new?
prior, yeah.
Oh, that's new. So prior to this.
Well, before prior to North Carolina, like, not to give you intimate details, she said that they were like screwing like rabbits, and he couldn't get enough of her, and they were doing it in the pantry where the girls were in the other room. So to go from that extreme to I don't want to touch you is odd.
Okay. So prior to the North Carolina trip, there was no indication from
No, I went on a trip with them.
that their relationship was on the rocks, anything like that.
No. Right before she left for North Carolina, I was in San Diego with her and Chris. We won a trip through Lavelle. We were all on a trip, a paid trip by then to just enjoy San Diego. So I was with them for 4 days right before she left for North Carolina. So.
And how were they then?
Lovey-dovey, taking pictures together. I have tons of pictures of them together on my phone. So. Yeah. I don't know where I was in the conversation, but you asked me next. Oh, so they had the falling out. So Chris was acting weird, and then she texted me and said things were bad, and that she didn't know what she did or what was going on with Chris, and she thought that it was his parents, and the only other time he's ever acted like this in their marriage was right after they got married, and it was because his parents didn't go to their wedding. And that
so his parents not like her?
No, they do not like her. Yeah, they do not like her. His parents do not.
Do you know the reason for that?
I don't per se. Like, I've met the parents like in passing. I've never spent time with them. I don't know. She can be bossy, but in a good way. I mean, it's not like I've teased her because I'm like, you're so bossy, but she's trying to like push you to do good things and like motivate you. It's not like a good she bossy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what she's like with Chris when I'm not there. So, but yeah, she told me through text. She's like, "Girl, I'm gonna need you more than ever when I get home." She's like, "I don't know what's going on wrong. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I didn't do, basically." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll come over. We can talk, whatever." And I was supposed to watch the girls when they got back because they had the ultrasound video of the baby to find out what they were having. Because the next weekend when we got back from Arizona, which would be this weekend, we were supposed to do a gender reveal party for them. So they flew in Tuesday night late, and I was over at their house Wednesday night before we left. I went over and watched the girls, played with them, painted their nails, that kind of thing, hung out with them. My mom and dad went. But Chris was really rude when he came home that night. He did not say hi to me. He did not acknowledge me at all, which is not normal for him. He'll like give a hug or he'll acknowledge that you're there. He'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever, and then he'll go on and his merry way and do whatever. He did not talk to me at all that night.
That was Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
And I mean, they were in a hurry or whatnot, but because he was running late, so I literally got there when he got there, and we like bypassed, but he didn't say anything, and he seemed really like uptight. Would be a good way to put it.
Okay.
So they leave to go to the doctor's appointment, and then they come back, and she gives me the envelope of what the baby was going to be, and I said, "Okay, we'll find out in a week." Like, and she was like, and then I started, she's like, "Don't open it in my house." And I was like, "Oh, fine, I'll wait till I get to my car." So I go home, and then she texted me that night, and she said, I can tell you, I have not had so many text messages, phone calls, and messengers on Facebook ever in my life. I do not want to be a celebrity. I left a job because I want to work all the time. Let's see. I was with her most of the weekend.
And how did she see you over the weekend? Did she see fine?
She was last weekend, yeah. She was not her normal self. She was very down. She was constantly like second guessing how she was talking to people because she didn't want to be, I guess, bitchy. I'm not sure. Chris and her had a conversation, I guess, Thursday night. Oh, I guess I'll get to that in a second.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Finish
you're
what you were
okay.
looking for.
So, they go and come back, and while they were gone, I asked what she was doing, and I showed pictures with the girls. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so hard not to like tell her what it was once I found out. And then she texted me that night. I texted her at 9:46 because I knew by then. I said, oh my god, this is gonna be so hard. She texted me at 9:55 on Wednesday and said, Chris said we're not compatible anymore. He refuses to hug me. He said he thought another baby would fix his feelings. Said he refused couples counseling. So no gender reveal. So she canceled the gender reveal party.
Okay, so that's
Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
So that would have been
Was it the 8th?
I think so. It would have been the 8th. So then I texted back and said, what? I don't understand. What does he want to do then? And she said, no gender reveal. She's like, I'm putting in my friend's thoughts. I don't want to fake a happy Chris. And I was like, I'm not putting my friends through a fake happy Chris. And then again, I said, because it wasn't coming out, it says con gender reveal. I was like, is she trying to say no gender reveal? So I was like, so no gender reveal, question mark. And she said no. And then me and another girl was doing it. I said, do you want me to tell Taylor? Do you want to? And she asked me to tell Taylor. So then I later texted Taylor. And then I said, okay. And she's all, he doesn't care that he's hurting me. And I said, what does he want you guys to do? And she's like, he's done. He said he will work it out. How do you work that out? I was like, what does that mean? Because I didn't know, like, what does that mean? I'll work it out. That's what Kristen said to her. I said, you don't work that out if you're not willing to work on it. And then she said, can you tell me what I'm having? I need some happy news, please. And I said, yes, I can. Are you sure? She was like, yes. And she's like, I'm not telling anyone. No, not even Chris. I said, can I come tell you in the morning? I'd really like to tell you this kind of news in person and not through text. I didn't say not to text. I said, I'd really like to tell you in person. And she said, sure. I said, or I can come tonight and tell you, like, right now. And she's like, no, it's okay. I said, are you sure? I will. Because by this time, I was texting it a little after 10. And then I was like, I just want to see your face. She's like, it's okay. I'm still crying right now. So I'll wait until a.m. And I said, I can come over now. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'll wait. And I don't know if you want another text message, but she said I might go masturbate to relieve stress. So, you know. And then I talked to her by that point because this next isn't until Thursday afternoon. So I did go over the next morning. We were supposed to leave, well, obviously the next day, so everything was whatever. But I went to Walmart and I got some stuff for the baby, and I got them these champagne poppers. So if they did decide to do it, like, it'd be exciting for whoever did it, whether it was for the girls or her and Chris or whatever. There was, they're gonna have a baby. And they were having a little boy. They are having a little boy. And she asked him and I took her to her house and said, I think it was in a little bag or whatever, and I said, here, if Chris wants to do this with you or whatever, and she said he wanted to wait to find out with her that night. So I gave her the bag and I stayed for a little bit, and then because she was trying to, like, appease him or make him feel better or whatever, she wanted to put him in the backyard. And I was like, Shanann, you're not mowing the backyard. It's like 80 degrees outside. She's like, I just need you to help me get it down the rocks or whatever. So I ended up mowing her backyard for her before I left because I'm like, I'm not going to let you mow the damn backyard. I'm just not. So I mowed her yard, and then I went home and did my stuff, and I talked to her. She said, what if, because her anniversary with him, like their dating anniversary, I think was the next day, on Thursday. So she's like, do you think I should ask him to go away so we can work on things while I was there? And I was like, I mean, he could. I mean, I don't know what he's willing to do. So she did text him, and she texted him and asked him if he was willing to go away. So then she starts sending me all these Groupons and asked me like where they could go. I'm like, well, you can go up to Philadelphia, depends on how far you want to drive. So we were discussing that. So she's texting me all those Groupons and stuff. And then she asked me about when I worked because she was trying to find someone to watch the girls so they could go. And then we stopped texting at like 11 o'clock that night because I was here at work, and she asked if I worked on the 17th, and I said yes. And then I was like, question mark, and she said nothing. And I was like, it's not nothing if you're asking what's up. Like, she usually doesn't ask when I'm working because there's usually something. And then she texted me at 3:29 and said she was up and showered, and I said I was counting down the minutes and wishing that I had a shower. I've been here all night. And then she said, text me when you leave. And I said, oh, well, when I get out to the parking lot, I have to change. And then I texted her, I was on my way, and then I picked her up. And then we went to the airport.
Yeah.
So. And I didn't see Chris that morning. I didn't see the girls. But she was off all weekend. And we were constantly telling her, like, eat Shanann. I carried a water bottle with me all weekend. And I was constantly giving it to her, telling her to drink, because she kept saying she had a headache. And Cassie, that was with us, is a nurse. So we're both like, taking care of her because that's our nature. And she would take a couple bites of food and wouldn't eat them. And then normally, and I know she's 15 weeks pregnant, but normally we'd go out and do something. We didn't go out. We stayed at the hotel the whole weekend. Since we're going to dinner, we'd go to dinner and come back. So, even the whole last day we were there, the whole point of us staying there the last day was to go see Arizona or explore in Scottsdale. I sat in the hotel room. Not the hotel room, but in the hotel lobby. Because we had to be out of our room by 11, and our flight was until 8:45 that night. So we didn't go. We sat there because Shanann was on the way there. She got Chris a book to try and help. She ordered a book, and then she downloaded it on her phone so she could listen to it. We listened to it on the plane together on the way there, and then she listened to it majority of the weekend. And she was picking out how the book related to her and Chris, and how she could change these things or that things. And
what was the book name? Do you remember?
I don't, but I can find out for you. I know the friend that referred to it. Do you want me to text her?
Yeah, if you know it. So actually, I was gonna have you text a bunch of stuff to me, if you would. I would appreciate it.
Can I have a separate piece of paper?
Yeah.
And I know I asked the detective earlier to call me, but I wasn't trying to be on doctors or whatever. They've talked to so many people.
Oh, sure.
I was like, I need to go to work.
Sure. Just kind of be for a little bit.
Okay, so what did you want?
All right, so let's see. Let's go in reverse order. So the text string that you had with her on the 8th of August, starting at about 9:55, where she talks about he says it's not compatible and he's done.
Okay.
Will you send me that text string?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And then I'll give you other people's information because, Cassie, I don't know if they were in text message or not, but Chris told her she didn't want the baby.
We did. Yeah, if you'll put
I can write down everybody's information.
yeah, if you write down Cassie and Christina as well. And then if you'll do the photograph of the shoes.
Okay. And I don't know why I took a picture of the shoes. I really don't. It's just when I was walking through the house, I'm like, well, that's odd. That's odd. Because, to me, I don't understand why the police officer let us go in the house.
Yeah. Well, at that point, it's still at this point where it's still a missing person.
Right. But, he let us touch things and go through things. And that's where I'm like, I don't know. I've watched a lot of crime shows.
Right. I understand. If you could do the few texts that you sent her on
The day of.
the morning, the morning that she was supposed to go to the doctor's office.
Which is
As
the
well.
12th?
The 12th, yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, you sent several texts that morning.
Yeah.
If you could send me screenshots of those to me.
has been corresponding like with all of us over the week. Like there's like 5 or 6 of us that.
Has been?
Yeah. So I'll give you all of their numbers.
Yeah, if you would, that would be great.
Well, he wasn't only corresponding with me, but he talks. Cassie's husband, Josh. Cassie and Josh. He confides in Josh.
Are they good friends?
They met through Thrive, but like on all the trips we go on, they hang out together. And then Cassie came out to visit and they stayed at their house. I mean, they're bros. So is she still considered a missing person?
At this point, I don't know if anything's happened since I've been talking to you.
Well, because the lady that called me, she's like, we have some more evidence to talk to. I was like,
Yeah, a lot of it's just a clarification thing.
do you need to know where they're at? So when you call, they're up?
Oh, and some of those in Hawaii.
Yeah, like Christina's in Hawaii.
Yeah,
and
he's right.
Addie's on the
Hawaii.
East Coast. Eastern, and she's in Arizona.
Do you happen to take pictures anywhere else on the inside of the house?
I can look. I don't know why the shoes stick out to me. Probably because she wears them. She's like, you should buy these shoes. Do you want your mom's number?
Go ahead and give it to me. I'm sure we've got it somewhere. I'm sure we've got that.
Why? Can I ask a question? She's a missing person and losing her children. Why haven't they issued her?
Well, with an Amber Alert, there has to be specific actionable information. Like they were seen with this person, and that person presents a possibility of bodily injury or death to them. Since we don't have at this point an indication that they've been actually kidnapped or anything like that, that's the reason that actually Amber Alert. It doesn't mean that it can't evolve into that, but if we just issue Amber on missing people all the time,
Right.
it loses its effectiveness. I was going to ask you, any indication of infidelity on either part?
So, this weekend, this is one of the things that happened this weekend. Chris said he went to a Rockies game on Saturday night.
Who do you go with, you know?
People from the North Area. That's just he went to Rockies game on Saturday night, so they got a babysitter for the girls. And Shanann was texting with the babysitter to check on the girls throughout the night. But we were in Arizona, so they're an hour difference, right? An hour later. Chris wasn't home by like 9 o'clock, which she thought was odd because it was an afternoon ball game. And then she checked her bank statement and he went out to dinner, which that's not odd, but the total was $60-some. And she's like, why would he spend $60-some at dinner? And I'm like, maybe he had some beers, I don't know.
You remember where that was?
The Lazy Dog in Westminster. Off of 144th and I-25. It's in that Orchard shopping center.
Okay.
So
What kind of restaurant is that?
it's like a bar and grill type
So
thing.
you'd have to work at it to get $65.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about. Because I'm like, well, we went out to dinner tonight, and it was a Mexican restaurant, but it was a bar grill type thing. And I mean, I had some drinks, so I was like, well, my bill was $47 tonight. She was like, Nikki, $63. Yours was $47, and it was one person. I'm like, well, yeah, but we didn't have appetizer and dessert. It's like, so maybe he like was treating himself, trying to make her feel better, because she was. And then she called him. I don't know if she called him or texted him. I think she called him because me and Cassie went down to the pool. And she said she called him. She said she was going to call him. So I don't know that she actually talked to him because we weren't in the room. But she said that he wasn't home yet either. He didn't get home until 10:30, which she found that to be odd because it was well after dinner. And she knows when he gets home because their security system tells you when you open the door. So, she asked him what he had for dinner, and again, she's trying not to accuse or be snarky. So he said, "Oh, I had some salmon and a beer." She's like, "Oh, okay. We'll save the receipt because I need it for taxes." Sorry if she writes that kind of thing. So then she gets on the phone with him, or when we come back, she's upset, and she was like, "Well, what do you spend that on?" And I'm food, like, I don't know. And she looked up the menu, and he said he had salmon and a beer, and she's like, "That's only like $30. Where's the other $40?" I'm like, I don't know, Shan. Like, if you ask Chris to save the receipt, you'll have to look at the receipt. I was like, maybe he bought one of the guys dinner because they bought him something at the ball game. Like, who knows? So then she started going through their bank statement to see if there was any high charges while she was gone, because they don't have that relationship where he spends whatever he wants, she spends whatever they want, bills get paid, like, you want something, go buy it type thing. So there was that, and then the phone call conversations were very small. Usually when we're on trips like that, they talk for 20, 30 minutes. She talked to the girls sometimes about FaceTime. They weren't doing any of that. They sent pictures back and forth. There was no pictures, and the reason, at least I don't think there was, because she usually shows her, be like, "Oh, look at Cece or Bella doing whatever." There was none of that. And then he let her go because he said he wanted to work out or something. Whenever she talked to him last, so she let him go. And then the next day, I can't remember if she talked to him that morning or not, but it was very sparse throughout the day. He was going to take him to a birthday party to the girl that babysitting the brother or something. And through people commenting on Facebook and all the stuff that I've seen, he was at the birthday party. The guy said he was at my house, and I don't even remember his name or where I saw it, but I did see that on Facebook. And then she called him that night when we were at the airport, and I figured she talked to him for a little bit, but it was a very short conversation. She wasn't talking. She like walked off. She's like, "Will you watch my stuff and then go talk to Chris real quick?" And she came back, and it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "I haven't talked to him all day or hardly at all this weekend, and he wants to work out. He started working out when he was on the phone with me, so I just let him go." And Chris used to work out like this all the time. With Thrive, he's lost 70, 80 pounds, and he's gotten really fit in the last 6 months.
Where does he work out at?
In the basement. It's her mom calling me. So, and then we came home, and she was upset because she was like, "He didn't want to talk to me." And then I did remember seeing a text from him because she texted and told him our plane wasn't going to get in until about 1:32 in the morning because of the delay. We weren't sure, because at that time we weren't sure. They were estimating. We were waiting for the flight crew to get there. And he said, "Holy crap, that's late," and something else, but I remember the "holy crap, that's late." And I didn't see any text after that. And I know Shanann was in a lot of pain on the plane, in pain and a lot on the plane, because she was still, she kept moving and readjusting and trying to
Be comfortable. Any knowledge about their finances? I mean, were they in debt up their eyeballs? Were they rolling in it?
I would say, I don't know. I collected their mail while they were in North Carolina, and there was a lot of mail. I didn't go through it or whatever, but I think they were having financial issues because it was always, she makes enough money that their daughters go to a really high-end preschool and stuff, like private school.
I just wrote down.
What?
Vista Ridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vista Ridge, yeah. They go to Primrose Vista Ridge, and that saved, by her being in North Carolina, that was a $2,500 savings that month. So that tells you anything. I work nights, and my children go to daycare 2 days a week. So, but he works in the oil fields. He's got to make good money. I don't know. We don't talk about finances, but.
But your impression was that they were dead. A significant amount of debt. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, because I know they filed bankruptcy before. She's made that statement. And I know that they have, like, because she's always very, like, meticulous. Not like that we don't go out to lunch several times a week or whatever, but she's like, well, I need to go here because it's cheaper, or, like, she thinks about how she's spending her money.
So did they go to Vista Ridge like full time?
Uh-huh. She works from home and she takes them full time.
She takes them
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Yeah, Shanann usually takes them every day.
Yeah. And is that the one in Erie?
Mm-hmm. That was the other thing. I was going to call school and see if the girls were there. And I actually got a text message this evening from one of the parents at the school that does Thrive with us. She was in Arizona with us. She didn't fly in, we just fly out at the same time, but she texted me. Sorry, and she said that one of the other moms, I have that too, one of the other moms at the school said that they heard Chris call yesterday morning and say the girls weren't going to be there.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
So Chris called the school yesterday morning
Chris called the school.
and said the girls were not going to be there that day, and then told them that they were separating and they were going to sell the house.
Do you remember who that was?
I don't have a name. I have a Max's mom, but I can give you Karen's number and
Yeah.
call her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put friend of girls school.
Anything that we haven't talked about you think we need to?
Funny. I was talking to Cassie on the way to work, and I said, I'm losing my mind. I don't want to forget anything. I don't want to. She told me a list. I know that sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, you were gonna check for pictures, other pictures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he told me to leave the house, and everything was fine, even though the car and things were still there. He did
Chris?
he did tell me to leave the house.
When was that?
That was when I called him the first time. He's like, would you please leave and quit messing with my doors, because I kept setting off his alarm system. This is hearsay, but he told Cassie to not get the police involved when he talked to her. Oh, he mixed up his stories with everybody. So he told me that the girls and Shanann were on a play date. And then he told her mom something different. And then he also told Addie, which I gave you her number. He texted Addie something different too. I think one of them was that she left in the middle of the night, and the other one was she left that morning with the girls. And she said he told the girls' school that they weren't going to be there. They were separating and moving out of the house. Shanann wouldn't leave anything without anything, especially meds. And the other thing, the house was locked up. Like, the more I think about it, there's no way she could have left that house without somebody seeing her. Like, the way it was locked from the inside, if she was in that house when Chris left, she would have had to go out the garage. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Chris didn't lock that house up like that before he left, she would have been noticed on the neighbor's camera. Like, she said Chris was being cold, not himself at all, yelling at the kids more often, and just not himself. Oh, and because of the company he works for, and he has to go to oil wells, there's a GPS tracker on his truck. So, yeah, I told him that yesterday.
All right. So
She was sorry.
yeah, she's other pictures. I'm sorry. Other pictures. I'm sorry.
You're the 3895 70. I know that's
9303895
5846.
5846.
Oh, I have a picture of the car in the garage that my son took.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Before we opened the garage. Let's see if we can Oh, and I do have a screenshot of the guy who said he was at his house. You want that?
The guy that said he was there?
Yeah.
Who's that?
His name's Jeremy. I can't see it, but I'll send you a picture of it. Jeremy Lindstrom. He said, yes, I have the cops. My daughter watched the kids Saturday night, and the girls were at. Well, my phone's going crazy. I don't know why, but I sent you a picture of a screenshot of an update that Amanda had sent. Oh, let's see. Maybe one in mine. I sent you the one from that morning. Aren't you one of the ones from the day before, right? The 8th, before we left?
Yeah. One where you talked about that they weren't compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. They would.
Oh, I'll redo that. Okay. And then the book, I'll have to text Sharon and ask her.
Yeah, not a big deal. So she actually had it sent to him, the book.
Yeah, so she downloaded it on her phone and then she had it sent by Amazon Prime. It was supposed to be delivered to the house on Friday, or to the mailbox or whatever.
Right. Did she ever say it was delivered?
What?
Did she ever say it was delivered?
She didn't. And she said she was going to wait to ask him if he read it because she didn't want to be pushy. Be like, how many
Right.
And she told us she was going to write him a letter over the weekend. Whether she did or not, there's a book that was in her purse. It's a green book, and it says like some quote on the front of it. So I don't know if there was a letter in there that she started to write in, or if she was writing stuff down of like things she could change or she'd done wrong or whatnot. But she had that book with her the whole weekend. It was a notebook, like a binded notebook. It's like a mint green. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it says on it. But she had that the whole weekend, and she was writing it off and on. So I don't know that. But that was at the house with him, so. Like, is it normal for people to do this?
No.
Okay. So I'm not crazy to think badly.
No, and the circumstances kind of, it's hard to not go to that place.
Yeah.
You know, with especially with, you know, the keys, the phone, medications, the kids, the car. You know, you kind of look at the totality of everything, and it kind of starts to add up to a little bit of suspicion. That's why we're involved. The FBI is involved.
Right.
So it's definitely got our attention, and we're doing the best we can to see if we can find her and the kids.
I mean, today, when I was at the house, I I know what I want to say, it's just not coming out. Chris was out because the neighbor came over to me after I talked to the reporter. He came over to me because it was in front of their house, like off to the side of it. And Chris had actually came out of his house and the canine dogs were going in, and we were gonna go in the house just to check on him. Like, I'm trying to be cordial because I don't want to think that, but in the same token, I'm thinking that. But he's got no family here either, and like I really don't want to think that of this person because I really, really cared about my friend and those girls. But I checked out. I was like, "Are you okay?" The neighbor pulled me aside and said, "When you get a chance, come talk to me." And I was like, "Okay." Like, why do you want to talk to me again? And he's like, "This is where things are bad." I'm like, "Obviously, dude. Like, I don't know what you want me to say." So then I went back over to Chris and I said, "Do you know anything? Has anything hit the checking account? Like her credit cards? Did she take any credit cards?" Like, I'm still on my mind trying to process. And he said, "No." I said, "Chris, did she? Because we get paid every Tuesday on Lavelle, and you have to set it up either for like a prepaid credit card type thing, or you have to set it up for direct deposit into your checking account." So I was like, "Do you know the login? Log in and see if she had her money transferred today." And he logged into it and he didn't, like, it hadn't been transferred for the last 2 weeks, but she got paid from Lavelle. So I was like, "Transfer it." And he was like, "Why would I transfer that?" And I was like, "Because if it doesn't hit your account, it's going to hit some account." I mean, I don't know if I was smart or not smart, but if it doesn't hit their personal checking account, then it's got to go somewhere.
And who's paying that?
Lavelle.
Lavelle? What is
Yeah.
that?
It's the Thrive company.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
LAVEL?
Mm-hmm. And I can give you, I don't have Paul Garrett's number, but Addie Maloney would have his number, and they might actually be able to look and see if Chris says it doesn't hit the account. Paul Garrett's the CEO of the company.
I spelled Paul's last name.
I don't like how funny. He just posted 22 minutes ago. GRAVETTE.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
No, but I've had several media sources reaching out to me wanting to talk to me because this is the last one that technically saw her besides her husband. What do you suggest there?
And I can't tell you what to do.
Right.
From an investigative perspective, we would prefer that you don't talk to them right yet.
Okay.
We do have a PIO, the person.
Private investigator.
Public information officer.
Uh-huh.
Pretty hard. Public information officer who handles all of our media relations and what we put out to the media.
Okay.
And we'd like to try to regulate that as much as we can.
Okay.
And again, I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. Use your best judgment.
Right.
We prefer that you don't talk to people at this point.
Okay.
That's kind of our stand.
Okay.
So I'll let you use your best judgment.
Okay.
But like I said, we prefer that you don't right at the moment. There will be a time and a place for that.
Okay.
So
what do I do?
You can use it to let them go to voicemail, or you can tell them
I
no
don't
comment.
know how they're getting my phone number.
Yeah.
They've texted me, they messaged me on Facebook, they called about messages,
Right.
and I'm like, how the hell did you get my number?
They're good at what they do.
Yeah. One of them called my aunt. I'm like, how'd you even know she was my aunt?
Yeah. Right.
So.
I mean, you can let them go to voicemail, not answer them. You can answer them and say, "I have no comment right now." Whatever you think.
Okay.
So. And if you think of anything further, please send me an email.
Okay.
So that's my desk line on there. You got my cell number. Yeah.
Okay.
So or send me a text. It's fine too.
Okay.
So.
Would you stay away from Chris?
At this point.
I mean, there's no reason for me to go over there, but then I'm the only one here, so they're like, well, what's Chris doing? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sitting at his house 24/7 with him.
Right. So, I mean, and I understand your desire to want to be involved and try to
help.
Not
necessarily in that sense. I don't understand.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Texas.
Okay, let's, do you want that? Yeah,
Yep.
do you want that?
So, you know, I would recommend that you probably not contact Chris.
Okay, and if he contacts me, leave him?
Yeah, probably for the time being.
Okay.
So,
Is it wrong to ask if he's a suspect?
Since it's technically a missing person, they're not technically a suspect, but he is somebody that we definitely would like to talk to further.
Right.
So, and you watch the Dateline stuff, how that stuff goes.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
people that are involved tend to draw them into the spotlight more.
And like, if it was a crime of passion, I honestly think that you'd strangle her. Only because she already has the neck issue. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What was that from?
She had I don't know if it started out as a slip disc but it was a degenerative disc, and they went in and fused some stuff in her neck. She's got a scar on the front part of her neck.
Okay.
And they're in most of the pictures.
Did she have a car accident recently?
No, she had a car accident in, I want to say it was 2007, and then she got some neck and back issues due to it.
Okay.
Why?
Did they have a Ford Explorer?
They did.
What happened to that?
I can't remember if they owned it and sold it, or if it was on lease and the lease was up and they didn't re-sign the lease.
Okay.
But they got rid of that about 6 months ago, 3 to 6 months ago, because they both earn. So through Lavelle, you can earn a car, and if you hit certain criteria, if you go and purchase and lease a car of their car list, then they'll pay you $800 a month or $1,600 a month for your car payment.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's worth it to go get the car if you don't have that car payment. So that's why they have the Lexus. The Lexus is through Lavelle Tech. Not like through Lavelle, if she quit earning that amount of money, she'd have to pay for it out of pocket, but they pay you every month on the second Tuesday of the month, and you get $800 or $1,600 depending on what bracket you're in to go pick out a luxury car.
So technically it's a company car.
Technically. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But I mean, you have to sign the lease, and if they don't end up paying you, you're still responsible.
You're still on the hook.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they had gotten rid of the Ford because they were talking about getting another car. So.
Gotcha.
But then she said they were because of money issues. They were not getting another car because they were using. If you don't go purchase the car, then you still get a car stipend, but it's only $300. So they were just using $300 for whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay. But yeah, if you think of anything else, send me a text or send me an email.
Okay.
Or give me a call, whichever.
Okay. Do you need anything else from me?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
So you're here until 6 a.m. Is that right?
Yeah, and my 16-year-old was there too. So I don't know if you want to talk to him, but he was there with me. The 2-year-old probably won't tell you much. So yeah, I just
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
I traded the shift this week, so I'll have Saturday off. So I can play for some shenanigans.
No.
This is my trade.
Now you're paying the price.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sitting down with me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Have a nice one.
Okay, so that is the end of the verbal interview with Nicole Atkinson, and we had finished the literature, the typed out version of this last week. So this was the verbal end of it, which kind of makes it a little bit easier to follow when you don't have to read it, right? Sometimes your sentences break up, you pause to think, there's ums and ahs and half sentences. So sometimes it can be really difficult to follow. It's nice to have the verbal side of it as well. such a heartbreaking case, so disgusting that, Chris Watts is coming out with even more information now about the way that he handled the girls and that he, killed them twice, basically. Absolutely heart-wrenching to imagine what those little girls would have been going through trying to protect themselves at such a little age from somebody that they trusted. Unreal, absolutely. So, for those of you that have been following in the chat, Mr. Ocean has sent me some pictures through email of the burial site, which is really nice because I'm all the way in Canada and it's not easy for me to travel. So it's wonderful that somebody's willing to share their experience of going there to get some closure. I only wish that I could have that as well. Update on the giveaway for Miri56, who won the ring from Charmed Aroma. I did mail it out to her yesterday. I asked her to let us know when she gets it. And we'll be doing another giveaway probably next month. I think that opening these case files together is, it's a really good way for everybody to see what exactly was released from officers, from Weld County, from the legal side of things, and to see the investigation in a sense. But I mean, I only wish that we would have gotten all of the info and not just bits and pieces of it. The infamous flip-flops. Thank you, Yvette. You guys are just awesome. I really appreciate your support and your viewing. If you enjoyed hanging out here today, hit that like button. It gives me a form of support. I appreciate it. TGIS, thank goodness it's Sherry. And we're definitely going to pick this all back up again next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you're available to come and see the case files being opened straight from Weld County, maybe you didn't get to see all of the information. Maybe you were somebody who didn't get to order the released public info. This is a really good way for you to see what all they had released without even bothering to take up any computer space of your own, right? So many of us have been gripped by this crime, and I think it's going to be really difficult for us to let it go when we keep getting little itty bits here and there, and we're not even sure what the full truth and nothing but the truth really is. And unfortunately, we may never get that information, but for now, there seems to be, how do I say this really? There seems to be love interests for Chris Watts. He has gotten many letters, and now a book has been published in regards to these letters. And there's been more information that's been brought up that's even more heinous than what we originally thought. To imagine Bella and Cece at 3 and 4 years old fighting for their life in their own home against their father, of all people, only to be carried away and think that everything's going to be okay, only to get driven to the Survey 319 site in the middle of butt fiddle nowhere, and only to be completely killed by Chris Watts. My thoughts go back now to the fact that there seemed to be a lot of pre-planning to this, some forethought to this. And honestly, you guys, who would have had those conversations with Chris Watts? In my view, it would have been Nicole Kessinger. And if she knew about this, if she knew about his heinous thoughts and didn't go to the officials to stop it from happening, she's just as fucking guilty as him. I can't say it enough, damn it. And it looks really bad on her that she would take away all of the communication, delete everything permanently, only to say that, yeah, she was just mad about being lied to from Chris. I think that's a whole lot of bullshit. And I think that she knew, frankly, I think she knew exactly what was going to happen. And in my eyes, that makes her just as guilty as though she had wrapped her hands around Shanann's neck herself. It makes her just as guilty as though she had snuffed out those girls by herself. If she knew about this and was talking to him about this, like, damn it all, and anyways, she is just as guilty. Are we ever going to find out and get all the information? Probably not, because as we now know, things have been permanently deleted and not everything was recoverable, and she did a really good job of covering her tracks, correct? But it's frustrating when you see that as an outsider, and you know that these two little girls, were completely helpless, and that this could have been stopped perhaps, but it wasn't. It's completely unfortunate that Chris gets to go on receiving love letters and living his life being dictated as he enjoys being, right? We all know that his mother dictated him. He followed Shanann's suit and listened and did whatever that she wanted. He never really found himself, in a sense, is what I get from that. And then only to move on to a mistress that had a really heinous, horrible, bad side to her. And we may never know the full extent of that either, because he says he's going to take it to his grave. It is sickening. I completely agree with you, Gigi. It's just, yeah, nobody else would have gotten away with this like this. It really is baffling, Wendy. It really is. Because it makes people wonder if there is any validity or truth to the payout, to, the protection of her, to all these other conspiracy theories that have been brought to the tables. We don't need to mention them all, but you know what I mean, right? I mean, there's been a lot of people that have had some different thoughts and have brought that to the table that we've all talked about. And, I was listening to Scott Reich interviewing the publisher of the book. And, it's interesting that he states that he was not able to locate Nicole Kessinger. I still firmly believe that I actually have that woman's address. But I mean, what the hell are we going to do with it anyways? What does it matter to have it, right? If the officials aren't going to do anything, certainly we as the public have our hands tied a little bit as well. Don't you agree? But it is too bad that all of this had to happen the way that it did, and that divorce wasn't even an option. And that these girls had to fight for their life against their father. It's literally heartbreaking, honestly. I know I personally have been gripped by this case, and I thank you guys all for joining and going through the case files with me here. I appreciate your support, you guys. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have many, many, many more people. Tell all your friends and family about me, and let's all get together and bring our diversity to the table, which means everybody's opinion is welcome as well, because that also diversifies us, doesn't it? We don't all necessarily think the same. We may agree on certain points, but some of us have some different analogies and theories and whatnot. And I enjoy having that with you guys. I believe that this platform is one of the best non-bullying open platforms where everyone's welcome. And it doesn't matter what your age, race, sex, nationality, ethics, belief system, or anything is. Everybody's welcome here. I love you guys, and I sincerely appreciate all of your support. Yeah, the phone pinging in Frederick was very telling, Wendy. I completely agree with you. And there seems to be some fishy stuff that's gone on here. And I don't know if we're ever fully going to get all of the pieces to the picture, but 3, 4 people, the fourth not even ever getting a chance to step foot on Earth, were wiped off this Earth by Chris Watts. And, the only person that he was hanging out with all his time with was Nicole Kessinger. I find it hard to believe that he would just keep all of this information to himself, considering they were all up each other's butts. Like, really. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that they had conversations about this and that Nicole Kessinger wanted to be Chris Watts's wife. She was searching for wedding dresses. She was already made up her mind, despite what she was saying to the police, which was all bold-faced lies. Truly, truly heartbreaking, 100%. Love you guys all so much. I sincerely appreciate your support, y'all. We'll be back Sunday face to face for our regular chitty chat time together, and that will be at 1 p.m. Central time, okay? And then we'll be back next week Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central time to continue with the Chris Watts case files. My heart goes out to the family, and I sincerely hope that they are resting in peace. I cannot wait to share the pictures of, Ocean that had sent me this through the email. I will certainly open that up and we can all look at it on Wednesday together. I thank you guys for being here with me. Much love to you all. And we'll see you again soon for another true story with me, Sherry Leans. If you want to be notified of all my posts, you'll have to click that bell, but select the all option. There's a few options in the notifications, and YouTube doesn't necessarily send them all unless you have selected and chosen to have all of them notified. So much love to you guys. We certainly have a lot more to talk about. And with this book out now, there just seems to be so much more to this. And I worry that we're never going to get the full truth and nothing but the truth, which in the courts we should get, in the legal system we should get. But I guess that's just my opinion sometimes, right? Yeah, loads of love to you too, girl. I hope you guys all have a great rest of the week, and I will see you again on Sunday face to face for chitty chat tea time, whatever you want to call it. Much love, you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.